尊敬的习近平主席，尊敬的普京总统，各位贵宾，中俄两国合作文件签字仪式现在开始。
Уважаемый президент Владимир Владимирович Путин, уважаемый председатель Си Цзиньпин, уважаемые дамы и господа, начинается церемония подписания документов по итогам переговоров.
首先，请习近平主席和普京总统签署中华人民共和国和俄罗斯联邦关于进一步加强全面战略协作、深化睦邻友好合作的联合声明。
Президент Владимир Владимирович Путин и председатель Си Цзиньпин подписывают совместное заявление Российской Федерации и Китайской Народной Республики о дальнейшем укреплении всеобъемлющего партнерства и стратегического взаимодействия и об углублении отношений добрососедства, дружбы и сотрудничества.
下面，请两国元首见证签署20个文本。
In the presence of heads of states, 20 documents will be signed.
请王文涛部长和列什特尼科夫部长、殷和俊部长和利哈乔夫总经理入座。
Minister Maxim Reshetnikov and Minister Vadzin Tao, Director General Alexei Likhachov are signing joint statement on the support of trading and memorandum on scientific cooperation. Please exchange the folders. Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary Igor Mankulov and Minister of Commerce Van Van Tao and Minister Irek Faizulin and Minister Hu are signing Memorandum on Mutual Understanding and Development of Steady Trade, and Memorandum on Mutual Understanding in the sphere of urban development. Head of the Federal Agency, Maxim Oskolsky, and Head of Chief Directorate Lowen, Valery Piskarov, and Head of Main Directorate Sun Meizun are signing Memorandum on Mutual Understanding and Anti-Monopoly Cooperation and in Talent Training. Please exchange the folders. Director General Andrei Kondrashov and Director General Lu Xiaoyang and Minister Olga Lut and Head of Main Directorate Sun Meizun are signing
Соглашение о медиасотрудничестве.
Cooperation on media, agreement on media cooperation. Director General Andrei Kondrashov and Director General Fu Hua, Director General Alexei Likhachov and President Hu Jinpu are signing memorandum on events devoted to 70th anniversary of partner agreements and memorandum on scientific cooperation. Please exchange the folders. Director General Oleg Dobrodev and Director General Shang Kai-su, as well as Rector Alexei Komisarov and Pro-Rector Chen Tao are signing cooperation on media agreement and a program of joint events. Please exchange the folders. Minister Olga Lyubimova and Deputy Head Shang Hai-sun, as well as Yuri Zubov and Commissary, are signing memorandum on mutual understanding in filmmaking and memorandum on mutual understanding on intellectual property. Please exchange the folders. Minister Andrei Nikitin and Head Sun Sude, as well as Director General Alexei Likhachov, are signing agreement on joint development of railway and memorandum on mutual understanding in talent development. Please exchange the folders. Director General Svetlana Balanova and Editor-in-Chief Zhu Yinpu, as well as Rector Nikolai Kropachov, are signing joint agreement on exchange of news and agreement on the establishment of Railway Institute. Please exchange the folders.
下面，请龚庆煌校长和利瓦诺夫校长、邱勇书记和克拉帕切夫校长入座。
Rector Dmitry Livanov and Rector Unsuwan and Rector Nikolai Kropachov
他们签署的是
are signing
人才培养与科研合作、共建创新研究院合作协议。
agreement on partnership in talent training and scientific research in the Russian-Chinese Innovative Research Institute.
请交换。
Please exchange the folders.
普京总统此次访华期间，两国还将共同发表中华人民共和国和俄罗斯联邦关于倡导世界多极化和新型国际关系的联合声明。
As a result of negotiations between Presidents Putin and Xi Jinping, a joint statement was made about the establishment of multipolar world
双方
and international relations of a new type.
新闻、教育等领域共20项合作文件。
Also signed were 20 documents on cooperation in trade, energy, science, education, sports,
签字仪式
and mass media. The document signing ceremony is over.
"习近平主席与普京总统共同会见记者活动现在开始。
Now, President of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, and Chairman of People's Republic of China, Xi Jinping, will make a statement for the media.
致辞。
Chairman Xi Jinping, please.
尊敬的普京总统，
President
各位记者
Putin,
朋友，
dear representatives of the media,
很高兴同普京总
good
统
afternoon.
和大家见面。
Very happy, together with President Putin, to be meeting with you
这是
today.
普京总统第25次访问中国，
This is the 25th time that President Putin has visited China.
高水平和
This in itself confirms the special nature of the Russian-Chinese relationship.
俄罗斯同事
I would like
表示
to warmly welcome President Putin and all my Russian colleagues.
刚才我同普京总统
President Putin
深
and
入
I
友好富
have
有
just had deep, friendly, and productive
就一系
round of
列的大问题
negotiations,
进行了战略沟通。
strategic dialogue on a broad
我们共同
spectrum
签署两国关
of
于
international matters. We have signed joint statements between Russia and China on further expansion of our all-encompassing
的联合
strategic partnership and about deepening our friendly ties
见
and
证达
cooperation.
成多份
In our
重要
presence
双边合作文件。
were signed a whole number of
两国
documents
还
on
将发表关于
bilateral
倡导
cooperation.
世界多极化
There will
和
also
新型
be
国
a
际
joint statement on the establishment of multipolar world and international relationships of a new kind.
今年是中俄战略协作伙伴关系建立
This year marks the 30th anniversary of establishment of
中俄关系
Russian-Chinese
日风怒
relationships.
与
For 30 years, through rain and shine,
关系定位
our bilateral relationships have been
达到
conquering new heights,
全
and they're
面战略
currently at an all-time high
关
of
系的
all-encompassing partnership and strategic interaction in a new era.
新型大国关系的典范。
And they're rightfully considered an example of a new type of
今年也是
relationships
中俄
between
睦邻友好
two
合作
major
委员
powers.
签署
This year marks the 25th anniversary since the day of signing the Treaty of Good Neighborliness and Friendly Cooperation between Russia and China. For many years, our countries have been committed to principles of non-confrontation and not acting against any third party. We're firmly committed to the spirit of mutual respect, mutual rights, and mutually beneficial cooperation, but making a significant contribution to the international relationships of a new type. This is a key constant amid a transformation that has not, the likes of which have not been seen in a century. Dear friends, under our joint strategic leadership with President Putin, the Russian-Chinese relationships have gone a new level. The parties have to follow the trends towards peace, cooperation, and joint benefits. We must strive for quality development of relationships between Russia and China. First of all, we should foster mutual political trust, to be strategic partners for each other. Political trust is the biggest trait of the Russian-Chinese relationships. It is set forth in the Treaty of Good Neighborliness and Friendly Cooperation. President Putin and I have already decided to prolong it. It is important to continue what we started, to open up new horizons and to keep supporting each other in matters that touch the key interests and concerns of our countries. We must maintain a tight political dialogue and contacts on different levels. We must work on strengthening political trust between our two countries. Second, we must work on high quality cooperation and interaction going hand in hand on the way towards development and prosperity. Over these years, we have admired the breakthrough development and the great achievements of the bilateral cooperation. For the third year running, our trade turnover has exceeded $200 billion. And despite the difficult international situation, trade turnover over January-April this year has grown by 20%, which was not an easy feat. We should use this favorable dynamic to strengthen our cooperation in bringing together the 15th five-year development program of China with the 2030 development program of Russia, boosting ties in energy sector, using new growth drivers in digital economy, artificial intelligence, and technological innovations. We must encourage wide-scale international cooperation for the sake of well-being and development of our two countries. Number three, we must encourage high-quality communication and cooperation among the people of our countries, laying a strong foundation for the Russian-Chinese friendship from generation to generation. Thanks to the dynamic growth of Russian-Chinese relationships, our cultural and humanitarian ties are developing. We're developing cooperation in tourism, education, and sports. The Russian-Chinese friendship finds more and more support among young people, and our nations are becoming closer and understand each other better. President Putin and I have decided to hold this year and the next year years of Russian-Chinese cooperation in the sphere of education. This will be the 10th such interstate project. that we will open immediately after this meeting. The concept of cooperation years in the sphere of education expands our student exchanges, deepens our ties among universities, and brings us tangible results in raising talent and expanding our research and development efforts to create favorable conditions for the development of Russian-Chinese relationships. Number 4, we must develop high-quality international cooperation, reforming and perfecting our global governance. This world is far from being calm. The damage imposed by unilateral actions and hegemony is off the scales. It threatens to bring us back to the law of the jungle. In this sphere, I would like to propose the concept of the single fate for humankind and a global initiative that enjoys wide support from the international community, including Russia. Being permanent members of the UN Security Council, Russia and China will show themselves as responsible world powers, protecting the authority of the UN and the world's justice, countering any manifestation of unilateralism and any attempts at reversing history, provocations aimed at denying the outcome of World War II, at trying to revive the ghosts of Nazism and fascism. We're ready to work hand in hand on forming a new, more rational and fair system of world governance, the world towards prosperity. The great Russian-Chinese friendship is in line with the demands of time. We will move forward steadily, confidently, and relentlessly, achieving new great heights. Thank you. Thank you, Chairman Xi Jinping. Now, please, President Putin, address the media. Chairman Xi Jinping, ladies and gentlemen, friends, first of all, I would like to thank our dear friend, Chairman of the People's Republic of China, Xi Jinping, and all our Chinese colleagues for the warm hospitality and the warm reception that our delegation has enjoyed. Today's visit has taken place on an anniversary year for the Russian-Chinese relationships. 25 years ago, we signed a major interstate treaty, a treaty of good neighborliness and friendly cooperation, thus laying a firm foundation for an all-encompassing partnership and strategic interaction between our two countries. And now the Russian-Chinese relationships are true at an unprecedented level, and they are developing. They are self-sufficient, they do not depend on the current situation, and they serve as an example of how relationships should be shaped between two major countries. Today's negotiations took place in the traditionally warm, neighborly, and friendly atmosphere. We reviewed all the aspects of our bilateral relationship, and our resulting statement reflects priority areas of our cooperation. We have signed a large number of intergovernmental documents, a total of some 40 of them. Some of them were signed here in this audience. Many of them aim to further our economic cooperation. Russia and China are very important trade partners for each other. In 2025, our trade turnover reached almost $240 billion. And now it includes high value-added commodities. In Russia and China, high-tech enterprises have contributed a lot to this trade turnover. And settlements in national currencies have also been important in that. All Russia-Chinese export-import operations are now done in rubles and yuan. Essentially, we have built a stable system of mutual trade that is protected against any external influence and negative trends on the global markets. Let me note that Russia and China have been actively cooperating in the energy sphere. Our country is one of the biggest exporters of oil, natural gas, including liquefied natural gas and coal. And of course, we are willing and ready to ensure uninterrupted supplies of all these fuels to the rapidly growing Chinese market. Our high-tech industry, our high-tech company Rosatom, has been working successfully in China. At the Xudapu nuclear power plant, Russian-designed reactors are being completed in construction, and they will contribute greatly to China's economy, supplying China's businesses and households with cheap and clean energy. There's great potential in renewable energy as well, including joint projects in low-carbon energy generation. We're working on joint recognition of Russian and Chinese environmental certificates. The relevant memorandum was signed during our visit. We're also talking about strengthening partnership in critical elements and metals required for wider introduction of green technologies. In general, Russia and China are energetically developing their industrial cooperation, creating new added value chains, implementing state-of-the-art technologies and innovations. In Moscow and in a number of Russian regions, Chinese car brands are manufactured. There are projects underway in chemical, cellulose, pharmaceuticals, aircraft manufacturing, space exploration, and many other science-intensive areas. Our countries jointly work on developing trans-European transport and logistic routes. The volume and speed of passenger transportation between Russia and China is growing, and capacity of our border checkpoints is growing, and new logistics hubs are being created. Russia modernizes its key railway routes in the eastern direction, such as Trans-Siberian and Baikal-Amur railways. We're working on the Trans-Arctic transport corridor, including its main thoroughfare, the Northern Sea route. One of the biggest components of the Russian-Chinese friendship is its humanitarian component. Our people show sincere interest to the history and spiritual values of each other. Youth exchange is growing, and so are tourist flows, boosted by the mutual visa-free regime, the introduction of which was initiated by Chairman Xi Jinping during our visit to Beijing last year. We supported this initiative, and the positive results are already there. In 2025, over 2 million tourists from Russia went to China, and over 1 million Chinese tourists visited Russia. After the successful cross years of culture, Russia and China are launching another major humanitarian initiative, such as the Russian-Chinese Year of Education. Together with Chairman Xi Jinping, as has been said, we will take part in the opening ceremony of those years. The program of cross years includes hundreds of most different events, conferences, seminars, concerts, exhibitions, and master classes. Some of them have already taken place, enjoying great interests from students and teachers both in Russia and China. Our countries actively cooperate in sports. The 10th Russian-Chinese Summer Games that start this week in Kaliningrad will become another example of that. It's a great chance for many talented athletes to expose themselves internationally. And further atmosphere of neighborliness and mutual understanding between our countries is boosted in our cooperation among the media of Russia and China. In 2026 marks the 70th anniversary of partnership between ITA-TASS and Xinhua news agency. There's a photo exhibition going on here in Beijing devoted to the history of Russian-Chinese relationships. Chairman Xi Jinping and myself had an exchange of opinions on actual international matters, which resulted in a joint statement confirming the very close positions of our two countries. Most importantly, Russia and China are committed to the sovereign and independent of international policy, working together to stabilize the international situation. We work together in the name of peace and prosperity. In this logic, Moscow and Beijing solidarily act in favor of international legislation and defending the UN Treaty and all its cohesion. We interact intensively in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, BRICS, and other international organizations, making a solid contribution to the resolution of international and regional problems. Russia supports the priority of China's chairmanship in ATES Forum. We are ready and willing to do everything it takes to assist in their realization. And of course, we will continue to coordinate our positions in multilateral formats such as the G20, the W Trade Organization, the World Trade Organization, the IMF, the New Bank of Development, and we will contribute to integration processes in EURASEC and the One Belt, One Road initiative with the prospect of forming one big Eurasian partnership. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, the program of our visit is very eventful. Chairman Xi Jinping and myself will have to visit many important events, but right now I would like to thank my friend Xi Jinping and our Chinese colleagues for hospitality and great organization of our visit. I am sure that this visit will further strengthen the Russian-Chinese friendship and contribute to the well-being and prosperity of our nations. Thank you. Thank you, President Vladimir Putin. The press statement is over. We thank President Putin and Chairman Xi Jinping.